Hi grade 5, we're back for another video lesson for week number 7, and this time it is all about multiplying a fraction by its reciprocal, which is equal to 1. You will also learn the importance of reciprocal of the number, how it will give you an easier way to do multiplication of fractions, and also the division of fractions. So if you are now ready, let's proceed to module number 14. Let's start this lesson with another problem. In a math contest, the contestants were given 3 seconds to give the value of n in the number sentence 3/8 times n is equal to 1. After 3 seconds, all the contestants were able to get the correct answer. Do you wonder how the contestants found the answer so fast? So, in this kind of problem, we have to look for a number to be multiplied by 3/8 so that it will give us a product of 1. What is the value of this n when multiplied by 3/8 will give us a product of 1? Well, let's try this one. So, 3/8. Okay, what's to be multiplied by 3/8 so that the answer is equal to 1? Let's put it this way. What to be multiplied or what number to be multiplied by 3 at the same time, what's another number to be multiplied by 8, wherein this 3 and this number will give the same answer as 8 and that number, so that the numerator and the denominator will be the same and it will be equal to 1. Okay, how about let's try to multiply this by 8 and the denominator will multiply it by 3 because we know that 8 times 3 is also equal to 3 times 8. So 3 times 8 is equal to 24. And of course, 8 times 3 is also equal to 24. So therefore, this fraction is equal to 1 because the numerators and denominators are the same. So numerator is 24, denominator is 24, so that is equal to 1. So what is being multiplied by 3/8 here, which is the value of n, this n is 8/3. Have you noticed something? Our numerator here becomes a denominator, and our denominator here becomes a numerator, and their product now is equal to 1. 3/8 multiplied by 8/3 here will give us 1, and this fraction is the reciprocal of 3/8. When we say reciprocal, kabaliktaran, okay, or the inverse. So, when we say 3/8 times 8/3, which is equal to 24/24, that is also equal to 1. Therefore, the value of n here is 8/3. What do we mean by reciprocal here? When we say reciprocal, that is the inverse or kabaliktaran. So, for example, if you are asked to get the reciprocal of another number, let's try to think this way. For example, if you are asked to get the reciprocal of 3/4, of course, the reciprocal is not equal, or I mean the number is not equal to its reciprocal, so I will not use equal sign. So when we say reciprocal, of course, our denominator here 4 will now be our numerator. And of course, our numerator here 3 will now be our denominator. This is the reciprocal of 3/4. So the numerator becomes the denominator and the denominator becomes the numerator. That's what we mean by reciprocal. However, this number could also be expressed as 1 and 1/3 because this is an improper fraction, and that could be expressed as mixed form, dividing 4 by 3, which is equal to 1 and 1/3. Now, what's the reciprocal of 1 and 2/8? The reciprocal of 1 and 2/8, of course, you will just make the denominator as numerator and the numerator as denominator. However, in this case, we still have the whole number 1. So we still have to change first our mixed form into improper. So you multiply this and you add. So 8 times 1 is equal to 8 plus 2, that is equal to 10. Then after that 1, copy 8 as denominator. Then that's the time that you will have to write that, or to write its reciprocal, which is equal to 8/10. So the reciprocal of 1 and 2/8 is 8/10, or that could still be expressed in simplest form, divide both by 2, so that is equal to 4/5. Okay, so that's the reciprocal of 1 and 2/8. Let's try to get the reciprocal of 1/5. The reciprocal of 1/5 is is 5 over 1. However, if the fraction has a denominator of 1, that is also equal to a whole number 5. So now the reciprocal of 1/5 is 5. How about 4? What's the reciprocal of 4? Of course, the reciprocal of 4 is, this 4 is a numerator, and it is already understood that if a number is a whole number, it has a denominator of 1. Therefore, the reciprocal of 4 ones, or 4, is 1/4. So that's the reciprocal of 4. And now, let's try another number, which is 3 and 1/2. What's the reciprocal of 3 and 1/2? Another mixed number. So we have to change it into improper first. So that will give us 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1, that is 7 over 2, or 7/2. So the reciprocal is 2/7. Any question with what we mean by reciprocal? In this case, if we will try to go back to our problem, of course, that is a number multiplied by 3/8, and the answer is 1. Of course, you just multiply 3/8 by its reciprocal, and the product is 1. So that will give us 3/8 times 8/3 is equal to 1. Therefore, n here is equal to 8/3. Reciprocal is the inverse or kabaliktaran. That simply means that if a number multiplied by its reciprocal, that is always equal to 1. That is why the reciprocal of a number is also called the multiplicative inverse. Multiplicative. That's multiplicative inverse. Any question? So when we say reciprocal, that is the multiplicative inverse. Let's try to give the reciprocal of each of the following. Write your answer in your activity notebook. Again, in your activity notebook. What's the reciprocal of 9 for number 1? For number 2, that's 1/7. Number 3, that's 3/4. Number 4, that's 5/2. And number 5, that's 3 and 1/3. Again, give the reciprocal of all these numbers. Pause this video and answer. Let us now try to answer your activity. The reciprocal of 9, of course, always remember that we have to make the numerator as our denominator and the denominator as our numerator. So 9 here is also equal to 9 over 1, because always remember that all whole numbers has a denominator of 1. So here, the reciprocal of 9 or 9 over 1 is 1/9. That's the answer for number 1. For number 2, of course, the reciprocal of 1/7. So 7 will become our numerator now, and the denominator is 1. Or that is also equal to 7, because all numbers with the denominator of 1 is a whole number. So final answer is 7. For items number 3 to number 5, number 3 here, the reciprocal is 4/3, or that could be also expressed as, because this is improper, that could be also expressed as 1 and 1/3. So that's the final answer. For item number 5, the reciprocal of 5/2 is 2/5. That's the final answer. And of course, for 3 and 1/3, I will really have to change this first into improper fraction. 3 times 3 is 9 plus 1, that is 10/3. Then the reciprocal is 3/10. For our final activity, you are to find the value of n in each of the following number sentence. Write your answer in your activity notebook. So here are the 5 items that you need to do. Look for the value of n. Pause this video and answer your activity. Let us now answer your activity. What number should be multiplied by 1/3 so that the answer is 1? Of course, always remember that a number or a fraction multiplied by its reciprocal, that will give us a product of 1. So remember that this value of n is the reciprocal of that 1/3 or the multiplicative inverse of that 1/3. So therefore, 1/3 times the reciprocal is 3/1 is equal to 3/3 or 1. Therefore, the value of n is equal to 3/1 or 3. Okay, let's proceed to item number 2. For item number 2, the reciprocal or the multiplicative inverse of 7 is here. The value of n is 1/7 because 7 here is also equal to 7/1 and the reciprocal is 1/7. So n is equal to 1/7. And of course, for item number 3, of course, the reciprocal of 6/4 is 4/6. Or this could still be written in simplest form, which is equal to 2/3. So n is equal to 2/3. And finally, what's the product of 1/8 times 8? Remember that 1/8 is the reciprocal of 8. Therefore, the value of n is equal to 1. And finally, what's to be multiplied by 21/3 so that the product is 1? Of course, the reciprocal of this 21/3 to be multiplied by that so that the answer is 1. So that is 3/21, or that could be written in simplest form. Both are divisible by 3. So that is 1/7 is the value of n if written in simplest form. So those are the answers for our activity. I hope that you get a perfect score, and please be ready for your assessment. And now I think you are ready for your assessment. And of course, for your assessment, the instruction here, fill in the blanks with the number which will make the statement true. Write your answer in your activity sheet. Answer sheet. So please provide with your answer sheet where you will write this answer because that's to be submitted. Okay, remember that our topic is about reciprocal or the multiplicative inverse. When we say reciprocal, that means the product of the number and its reciprocal or its multiplicative inverse is always equal to 1. But be very careful because sometimes you are not looking for the reciprocal of another factor to give us 1. Sometimes we are looking for the product. Okay, so careful in answering your activity. Good luck and thank you so much for joining me for our week number 7, which is module number 13 and module number 14.